We're here today to celebrate the upcoming birthday, 60th birthday of my brother Rusty, and we've been asked to answer a number of questions. What is your favorite childhood memory? I would have to say that's the many trips that we took fishing with my dad, and more particularly the trips that my brother and I took down the Okmulgee River, camping and spending the night on the river.
One of my favorite memories was when Rusty pulled me in the little red wagon all the way down the road to where the pasture is, where we used to ride horses. Probably about a 3-mile round trip. I may have been about 5 is what I'm remembering, which would put Rusty around between 7 and 8. And he pulled me all the way down the road. He parked on the side of the road with the wagon. We crossed the pasture, went and sat on the railroad tracks, and ate a pack of saltine crackers, then went back to the wagon and he pulled me all the way back home. That's just a sweet memory I have that is pretty vivid in my mind.
But on one Sunday, Mother had made this great big banana pudding, and we were all just eating our meal and waiting to get dessert. Rusty gets up to get the banana pudding, big dish. We were all sitting there waiting and had been looking forward to it. And right a couple of feet before he gets to the table, boom, he drops it. It breaks everywhere. We're all just with our mouths open, just shocked. And we never forgot it.
Are the drawings he used to make of these plastic monster figures he had. And they had huge bulging eyes and grotesque features. I'd love to have one of those now. Another one was watching him ride his horse, Tonka. That was a rough ride and looked kind of like a cartoon.
And I would click. That was my mischievous moment, I guess. I would click because I knew that Tonka would take off, and he would. And there was no stopping him. You could try to stop him all you wanted, but he was unstoppable. You could pull back, but he was just gone until he reached the very end of the pasture. Rusty wasn't that big at the time, and but he was a trooper. He hung on, and I don't know that he ever fell off. Very seldom, but he hung on, and we laughed about it afterwards.
The other memory of Rusty that I have as children, and I guess because we grew up pretty close together, me being the youngest, but at Christmas time, Rusty and I would spend, for weeks, would look through the Sears catalog and look at the toys and things we wanted for Christmas and get real excited. And as it got closer to Christmas Eve, Rusty would come into my room and sit on my bed or be in my room, and we would talk about Santa Claus and Christmas Eve, and it just made it real special and real exciting for me.
Rusty and I took music lessons together from Ms. Moulton. We would not practice like we should. So I'm sure she got quite frustrated with us. But, and Rusty would always try to delay his practice and make up excuses. And when I practiced, he liked to come in there and bother me. And when I was sitting down, he'd take the bench out from under me. And anyway, it was a challenge to get my practice in and deal with him. And then when we would go to music lessons, we would sort of argue about who would get through with it first. And when I was playing, I think it was already bad enough that I hadn't practiced enough, but Rusty would sort of run through the room or get to the side, and Miss Moulton, of course, didn't usually see him, but he would make faces at me and mess me up, so that didn't help. Oh, he says this all the time. I guess he gets it from way back. Of World War maybe 2 movies or World War 1, who knows, when the planes were going down and they would say Mayday, Mayday.
So, Mayday, Mayday, going down.
So anytime you call Rusty and you want to, he doesn't leave a message or a text. He just says Mayday, Mayday in this deep voice, and then you know that he's tried to call you.
That's a real hard thing to pick out because just about everything Rusty says is annoying.
No worries. It doesn't matter what the problem is or how bad it is. Nothing to be worried about.
I come here today to undress you, not to address you.
He comes into a room, it does not matter who's talking or what we're talking about or what's going on. He comes in real loud, making loud sounds, noises, singing, whatever. Just obnoxious.
Obviously, we've been living together for over 30 years, so we irritate each other with lots of habits. But I would have to say it has to do with his stealing the remotes. And he loves to do it when I leave the room. He'll go get all 3 remotes and act like he's hiding them in his chair. And then he uses 2 of them to change the channels. And in the process, we watch nothing. We see a little bit of everything. We'll get interested in something, and then he switches it and says, I'm going to switch it back. But by the time he does, that particular show is over.
Is aggravating and annoying people about anything and everything, just pushing their buttons for the fun of it. He's known as the family aggravator. He's given me schedules to follow at the beach, and anytime he calls me and I don't answer, he says, Zan, where are you?
He loves to, growing up, he loved to aggravate and get your attention and see what you would do. That was, it really hasn't changed a lot. But, he could do the loudest burps. And he comes in and he does this yawn that is just so loud. I mean, my ears ring for a while. He knows it's going to irritate you, and he will just stretch and yawn, and it's so loud. I guess he likes to get attention a lot. Anyway, and then if you don't pay attention to him, he'll do something with his hand where he pokes you when you turn, he sort of pokes you in the face.
For me, one of the most annoying habits he has is his sarcasm. He gets lectures from me every now and then.
Deborah reminded me that he chews a toothpick. Why is that?
That was a little tough for me. You say, what came into my mind? I don't know why. But we used to watch the old cartoons. One of them was Bugs Bunny, who just sort of strutted around with his carrot and would just say things to aggravate people. And I forgot there was a little character with the gun that would always try to shoot Bugs Bunny. But he would always outsmart him and walk around just saying, the craziest things.
Yeah. What's up, Doc?
And then my daughter, Krista, she said she came out with Michael J. Fox. And I thought,
that would have to be Elvis Presley. Part of that is because when we were pretty young, we had a little tape recorder. And Rusty would always do all these crazy impersonations of people, Elvis Presley being one of the main ones, and he would sing and do some of the movements and... Right. Of course, Rusty has the lip that kind of goes along with that, which is why he reminds me a lot of Elvis. But I probably have a lot to do with Rusty's strong ego, you might say, because I would always clap and laugh at everything he did and said and tell him what a good job he was doing and give him a lot of positive praise and feedback, and maybe I overdid that.
Well, he looks a lot like Michael J. Fox. However, his expressions, his attitude, a lot of the goofy things he does reminds me a lot of Donald Trump.
The most annoying person I can think of is Hillary Clinton, but I don't really want to compare him to her.
When I think of Rusty, the first thing that comes to mind is how crazy he is about babies. Babies shrink from fear of being eaten alive from the way he squeezes and kisses them like no one else. But also, along with that, is how much he loves and cares for his family.
Oh, funny, sometimes aggravating, and I guess concerned. He's always asking how you are, how your family is. He's genuinely concerned for others, wants to know what's going on.
What rabbit is he chasing now?
Chasing rabbits. We say that about Rusty because of his impulsivity, and he's all over the place, pretty much all the time. We often refer to him as the king of aggravation because he enjoys aggravating everyone, pretty much most of the time.
Without a doubt, something that all of our Chambliss siblings and family think about is love of family.
Going into that would be, you can see his commitment to his family, to our family, wanting to always help out if anybody needs it, his commitment to his work with his patients, and his career with being an optometrist, and commitment to the church, and just wanting to do the right thing. Rusty would always sort of ponder or obsess, and I have to share that I do that too. We just sort of obsess over pros and cons, and sometimes feeling guilty if you don't make the right decision, and he would always try to get to that right decision, so which is a good thing. And so he always cared about how it affected others and wanted to do the right thing. So can't find fault with that. That was a good thing.
He is loyal to a fault. He will defend you and stand up for you against anybody and anything. And that is true for family, friends, anybody that he cares about.
Let's see, most endearing qualities of Rusty. I would say his love for family, his love for life. He's very spontaneous, loves to laugh, and especially his love for babies. Rusty loves to squeeze and hug and kiss on babies. I think if he could have a baby to kiss on every morning, he would never have any stress in his life. He just loves babies.
His most endearing quality is his big heart. He is eager and willing to help everyone and very generous. I'm sure it comes in a large part from his deep Christian faith.
My message for Rusty would be, now that you're 60, Rusty, your midlife crisis has graduated. That's right. And I would say that now you could wear anything you want to or pretty much say anything you want to, but you already do that. So my message for you on your 60th birthday is that you will have many more happy and healthy years.
My message for his birthday is, no worries, Rusty. You're aging well, and may you have many, many more. God bless you.
Message to my brother. Happy birthday, Rusty. Slow down a little. Smell the roses. If you're not careful, you'll start aging as fast as your older sisters. And you'll live longer.
Just to wish you a happy 60th birthday, and to say that you finally made it to the 60s club. Sometimes I try to be in a bit of denial about it, but I guess we need to accept it because it is what it is. And you're 60, like it or not. Wishing you health and happiness, and we all hopefully will live a lot more years and enjoy each other's families, our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren. We'll be able to to see each other and see and be a part of all that. Just enjoy the milestones, the accomplishments that you've had thus far, and there's still more to come. Yep, we've got a while before we really, it's 60 is just the start of another decade. So I have to look at it like, you know, we got a lot of years to still enjoy. And just want you to have a really good time tonight and wish you the best. We love you. Happy 60th birthday. And I'm sure it's going to be a memorable one. And God bless. And that's all I've got. Bye.